It's me, Nim Sony. Welcome back to How It Works. This is a How It Works short, because I just wanted to go through one very quick mechanic. And it's not that. Well, it's not a mechanic, but it's a bit of a glitch. So, yeah, it's a glitch that I used like before in a video when I was doing the reviews, and I haven't really explained how it works. It's kind of the remaining mechanic as part of the movement system, which I haven't talked about. Now, as I mentioned in the last video, this guy spawns here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open this door, open that door, and then let's just do something for fun. Bye-bye. Yes, I know I'm not supposed to have grenades at that point. I stole them from in there. Anyways, let's get back over here and show you the thing that I showed you in an older video, which is the what's it called? Mantling glitch. Let's call it the mantling glitch. Yes. So ignore these guys for a moment. In fact, now, the one thing you might have seen when it comes to speedrunners is firstly this ability to sort of move through the wall, and that's something that I wanted to mention because in the movement video I'd stated that basically your player controller actually stops at a specific position while you are moving through walls, and your head, once it touches a wall, actually goes into that sort of fadey screen. However, obviously the speedrunning strat is to actually use the fake rotate while you're going through a wall, and the thing that the game actually does is while you're fake rotating, it doesn't actually do the fade out. So the fade out completely disables, which I think might be down to the head collider. So I think the head collision itself sort of, let me just itch my nose there very quickly, sort of switches off as you go through a wall, which is why we're able to literally just sort of pass through the wall and never see the fade out. Even though if I went all the way, you would just get a change in the fade out, even though I'm out of the gap. Like literally out. Oh, yeah, I forgot that's a physics hand. Out of the gap. Well, best way to show that. Out here, even though my head is out here, completely in an acceptable space, you still get that fade out because you came in from here. But if you're using the fake rotate, the game doesn't actually track that, or at least it keeps that held, but cares about where you end up. And I could probably try and explain that, but I think it's quite an unreliable explanation, so I'm not going to bother. Now, the mantling glitch that I mentioned is the one that I showed in the review video, where what I did is I basically did this. And as you can see, I can float back to where I mantled. Now, you'll probably have seen speedrunners do this thing where they very quickly tap. And as a result, when they kind of sort of tap their teleport a little bit too quickly, the game does get a little confused and sometimes just teleports them to a point which is so far away on the map, like just completely miles away. I don't really like strats where you can't really explain them and they're very unreliable and almost never guarantee you to actually do it unless you just keep tapping and hope, right? Because there's no way of really explaining that kind of stuff. So what I like to do is do things that actually make more sense. Here, this one makes perfect sense. Let me show you what I do. So basically, I mantle onto an object, anything that requires you to use the analog stick to mantle, like this, and partially through the mantling, I use the teleport, as you can see. Now you can notice something instantly there. When I actually perform the teleport completely, once that's happened, the game starts to push me back to where I mantled. However, while I'm holding the teleport button, the game doesn't allow me to move at all. And that is kind of an aiding thing. What I believe it is doing is it freezes your player movement system in place just to make sure nothing can move it. And that way you can sort of guarantee where you're teleporting when you pull that analog stick is gonna be where you teleported to. It's sort of this idea of guaranteeing by design, right? Guaranteeing where you end up. However, obviously, you can see I'm still floating back once I let go. let me try and get through here very quickly. This is not easy because the game tries to... And there we go. So what's happening here is I'm being transported all the way back... all the way back to there, and I died. Hold on, let me just skip this bit. So we're back here again. Now, the reason I died there is actually probably because I tried to teleport while I was in a wall. So the game waited to actually perform that teleport. What normally happens is you can get through a wall, float back to where you mantled, and the game wouldn't care less. So, for example, here, we're just going to float over here, and I'm not going to press anything this time. Through the wall, see the world, and land. There we go, back to where we want to be. And that applies pretty much anywhere. So if you wanted to, for example, do this here, you can drop this box here, mantle onto there, mantle onto there, mantle onto there. And now that we've got a mantle point here, we can use this as our floating point. So here we go, mantle and teleport. And there we go, super duper easy. We can just get, I should have got rid of these two guys. There we go. We can get through there. We can have a look inside the train if we want to. There we go, through the train. And you can see the game doesn't really mind. And we are going to have some trouble here. Ooh, better make sure I don't touch them. If you touch them, you will get trapped in them even while you're mantling, right? So the game does detect that one thing. If you are doing that as well, you can't actually switch weapons while you're doing that teleport mantle. Now, let me explain how this mantle works. So basically, what the game does is when you start a mantle, let's do this in a nice light area. When you start a mantle, the game stores 2 points. 2 points. 1 point is the place where you're mantling to. 1 point is where you're standing, which is over here. Brilliant. And then what it does is it interpolates from one to the other, right? And you get this sort of... Ooh, let's try and... Yeah, that's a nice analog. So you start from one, and then you blend towards the other, right? So we get an interpolation. There we go. It's pretty smooth, but what happens is those 2 points, the only way you can interpolate between them over time is to store both of those points the whole way, right? You have to store them at the starting point, which means that when we're actually going towards the target point here, if we've moved out of place, I'm still going to be non-physically interpolated to that final target point. Nothing's changed. The game hasn't said we're going from where you currently are to where you want to be. The game's just said that is the target point that we wanted to get to. Now we perform the mantle step. We're halfway through the mantle step. So the game still has to interpolate from where we are through the process to get to where we want to be. It is going from where we currently are rather than where we started, but it has a limited speed. So it's not going a percentage of the way, right? Because otherwise, if you get back here, you can see how quick that would be. We go from 0 to 100% in like half a second. However, what it's actually doing is real speed. So there's a real speed limit on how much you can actually speed through the interpolation. There's an actual positional interpolation there. And that's literally all it is. So I was doing that in the other video as well, where I sort of jumped down a place, it's physically impossible to get back up, and because I was doing this, you actually float back through the wall and all of that cool stuff. I did this in a section of the game where you are never supposed to get back up, right? Which is the first part where you see the vorticant. And I would suggest other people try to do that, because there's some fun things going on when you get to the vorticant. Maybe I'll show you in this video. Let's have a look if I can show you in this video. It's quite fun to float through these areas actually, because if you go here, for example, right, and you go through here, now there's supposed to be some combine here when you come from that side. This is the way out of this level. So I basically just skipped the whole level. And then you get some music here. But this isn't the start of music. This is actually the end of a music, right? So what happens is, it cuts out like that. It slowly fades away. There we go. So that is actually a trigger zone here. When you're coming up here, that's a trigger zone to end the music. And you can tell because if I go into halfway through this room, because what we're supposed to be doing is coming this way, is there's actually a trigger zone to activate the enemies. Let's have a look. There they are. There they are. You're dead. Don't worry about it. And that will also cut the music off once again. And then, of course, this is the way out. Let's see if I can show you that Vorticont area. Yeah, skip to the next place. So one thing to mention while these lot talk and I get to the next section is that they've changed the capsule colliders that used to be the enemies. Maybe it's just an optimization, but essentially there used to be capsule colliders that covered these enemies the same way that the player capsule collider is. But now it's actually just a sphere. A sphere that's exactly at the pivot point of their character position. And you can see that as he moves, as he animates here, you can see that my hand is actually colliding and moving with the collision sphere. And yeah, that's literally his character's position, is this point here on the floor. Yeah, I just noticed that while messing around here. I'm not supposed to be on this side of the thing, so let me try and get back over here. And what you want to do now is you want to go down here. Oh no! Yeah, we want to try and get him to start his next animation while we are there. There, now he's started his next animation, right? So he's going to hand us, which we are standing down there right now, because the game has no way of getting us back up here. He's going to hand us some stuff. This thing here. So let's watch a cutscene from a place which is impossible. There we go. Now watch what he does here. Watch this. Dumpa dumpa dee, la da da dee doo, lee dee 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 dee. And that's what happens at this point here. Now normally this garage door has already opened, or garage door, depending on who you are. Let's just get through this wall and see what it looks like. There we go. Oh, it's opening. It's opening. So he's actually performing his cooking animation. Which... Oh, there we go. We've got a plate. What a brilliant grab that was. Yeah, so you can see he's performing his cooking animation. Or at least he starts to perform his cooking animation. Oh, he's actually not. Oh, there we go. There, he started his cooking animation. And then he's using his green thing. He's cooking in this pot. Yeah, my hands actually... You can see the parts of your hands and stuff start thingy, moving around here. Yeah, so this is something you're never supposed to see. And you probably haven't seen anyone sort of show you this area here while it's despawned. But you can see the hands sort of despawn as you go out of bounds of the game. So here we go. If we move our hand in, you can see this gun starts to despawn as well. Pieces of the gun just despawn. And then you've got nothing left. And there we go. You can see sort of the inside of the glove if you want. There we go. You can see the inside of the glove. And yeah, other things. It's like it's weird. You can't really shoot in this section here. I don't know what happens if I fall out here. I'll probably get killed. Oh, I can't actually move through there. Wonderful. Yeah. Messing around in this game is actually pretty fun. Yeah. Yeah. There we go. Anyways, that's the end of this video. Thanks very much for watching. I said it was gonna be a short. I don't think it's a short. Whatever. Oh yeah, I can't throw the gun. I just tried to throw the gun and I nearly let go of my actual controllers. So yeah, let's not do that. Thanks very much for watching. Goodbye. That's the end of this tiny little weird video.